in the previous class we have seen the 8051 assembler directives like org defined by db, end, that is end assembly module, and then equate, EQU and SET. Now in this class we are going to see the basics of 8051 instruction set. Before getting into the instruction set, some basic definitions we wanted to know. The first one is your instruction timings. So instruction timing is nothing but in 8051 microcontroller, you have a oscillator that defines the crystal frequency, that defines the speed of operation of your microcontroller. So here each instruction, how much time it takes, that is defined by the instruction timings. Based on like whether it is going to do read operation or write operation, whether this read operation or write operation is done internally or it is going to happen externally. So all these things are controlled by means of the oscillator that is connected across that is connected interior to your 8051 microcontroller. First one, to understand the concept of instruction timings, we need to know what is meant by T-state, what is meant by machine cycle, and what is meant by instruction cycle. So T-state is nothing but clock period. It is the clock period, and it is a subdivision of the operation performed in one clock period. Machine cycle means it is 12 oscillating periods. It means like the time taken to complete one machine cycle. So here it takes 12 oscillating. Like this it will be 12. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like this it continues till 12. So machine cycle is defined as a oscillator period which is having 12 clock pulse. So it has consists of 6 states and each state lasts for 2 oscillator period. So a machine cycle consists of 6 states. It is total of 12 oscillating periods, and each machine state consists of 6 states, 6 and 2 oscillator periods. An instruction takes 1 to 4 machine cycle based on the amount of execution. For example, for example a simple instruction means it can access memory, so automatically it will take only 1 machine cycle. In case if you wanted to use move a comma at or not, so like this if you are using some instruction, this at represents it is the indirect addressing mode, and at or not in the sense it will have one where it is an address. So fetching this address 1 machine cycle and moving the data from that particular address to accumulator takes another machine cycle. So it is nothing but how the instructions are executed, whether it is accessing memory, internal memory or external memory. Based on that it is going to work out. Next is your instruction cycle. So next is the instruction cycle. Instruction cycle is nothing but the time taken to complete one execution of the instruction. For example, if I am writing it as move a comma b, so the time taken to complete this particular instruction execution is nothing but instruction cycle. And also it is there, here also you can tell about the machine cycle, how much machine cycle it is going to take. If 8051 is operated with 12 MHz, so 8051 microcontroller crystal oscillating frequency is 11. Oscillating frequency is 11.0592. So it is the crystal megahertz. It is your megahertz. It is the crystal oscillating frequency. For example, if you are using this 12 megahertz frequency, the clock period is going to be 0.08333 microseconds. Therefore, the time taken for one machine cycle will be 0.08333 microseconds multiplied by 12. That is multiplied by your crystal frequency will give time taken for one machine cycle. There are different types of, now we'll go for the different types of instruction set. The first one is your data transfer instruction. The first one is your data transfer instruction. Second one, arithmetic instruction. Third is your logical instruction. Fourth, branch instruction. Fifth, subroutine instruction. And sixth is your bit manipulation instruction. Data transfer instruction means moving a data from one register, moving a data from your source to destination. Usually, in case of your 8051 microcontroller, you will have a mnemonics, that is either MOV or ADD, like that mnemonics will be there, and this is your destination and it is your source. So whatever you are doing, suppose here you are writing it as MOV, it is nothing but moving a data from where, from source to destination. So source, your data will be moved from your source register or source address to your destination address. So this is how it will work in case of your data transfer instruction. Arithmetic instruction, it is used to do addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. All these operations will be handled by this arithmetic operation. Next is your logical operation. Wherever you need to have a comparative statement, there we will be using a logical instruction. Next is your branch instruction. So suppose if I wanted to have a condition like jump on non-zero, go to that particular loop. Suppose jump on 0, go to that particular loop. Jump on carry. Like this we have a conditional statement, that is branch instruction can happen for conditional as well as unconditional statement. Conditional means one, if the condition is satisfied, it will get transferred to the corresponding loop. Suppose if the condition is not satisfied, it further follows the next step. Whereas in case of your unconditional branch instruction, without checking any condition, it just move on to the particular loop. Next is your subroutine instruction. Subroutine in the sense, suppose if I wanted to use a program for n number of time, there we will be using a subroutine instruction. Next is your bit manipulation instruction. Bit manipulation instruction means like jump on carry. So if I wanted to process one particular bit, there you will be using a bit manipulation instruction. This is the basics of your 8051 microcontroller instruction set. First one is your data transfer instruction. The first one what we are going to see, it is your data transfer instruction. The data transfer instruction, the mnemonics what we are going to use for this data transfer instruction is MOV. So the function of this data transfer, MOV represents, it is a moving a data from one memory to other memory. So the syntax for data transfer instruction is MOV operand 1, that is it is your destination, and operand 2, it is your source. This is the syntax for your data transfer instruction. It means that it copies the content of OP2, that is it copies the content of your operand 2 to the content as a content 2 of operand 1. It is the syntax representing your data transfer instruction MOV OP1, OP2, that is whatever content you have in this OP2, that will be moved on as a content to OP1. The logical representation of writing your MOV instruction is OP2 is moved to OP1. It is your content. The content of OP2 is moved as content of OP1. This is how you need to represent your data transfer instruction. Clear? So when you do a data transfer instruction, here just we are moving a data from one memory to other memory. Therefore, then no flags will be affected in case of your data transfer instruction unless you are moving the carry bit. So carry bit can be, as we guys discussed, we have a bit manipulation instruction also. So unless we are not using the carry bit, none of the flags will be affected in case of your MOV instruction. Suppose is moving a value of bit into the carry bit, then that particular bit will get affected. So this is identified. How, whether the carry bit is set or reset, it can be identified by means of your PSW register. We all know that PSW is nothing but program status word. So program status word, it is a 8-bit. So we have discussed in the first chapter 8 bits 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it starts with PSW.0. Here PSW.1, PSW.2, PSW.3, PSW.4, PSW.5, PSW.6, PSW.7, PSW.8. So PSW, it is a 8-bit word where it does many functions. So using this only you can identify which bank of register is selected. whether the carry flag is set or auxiliary carry flag is set, whether we are going to use a user defined flag, all these status can be notified with the word, that is with the word stored in your PSW word. So whether the carry bit, here the 8th bit is going to be carry, whether the carry bit is affected or not, we can identify with the help of the word that is stored with PSW. So it contains all the program flags. Next is we have different instructions shown over here. You could see here MOV, and as we know, like we have different types of addressing modes. Whatever addressing here we are showing, it is a indirect addressing. For example, if I am writing it as MOV, I'll write one program so that you can understand the first instruction properly. First one, you write it as MOV R0 comma hash 55H. Okay, this is your first instruction. Next is your move at R0 comma hash 0AH. Okay, next one, move A comma at R0, move B comma R0. Okay, now I'll explain step by step process what is happening with the program written. So when you, after executing your first instruction, your 55 value will be stored in your R0, that is the content of R0 will be 55. So we have a memory spacing. In case of your, in general purpose memory will be, it starts with 30H, 30, 31, 32, 33. General purpose RAM is there, right? So like this it will be there. So here it represents the address 55. It starts with 30, 31 like that, and it goes on till 55H. So R0 will be 55. So the addressing mode what we had shown in the first instruction is going to be your immediate addressing mode. Second one, move at R0 comma hash 0A. So hash 0A, 0A is nothing but your data. This particular data is stored in this R0. So what is the value of R0? R0 is going to be 55. So at this 55th location, you are going to store the data 0AH. So 55 in this particular, after at you are supposed to use only the register R0 and R1. So R0 value is 55. So at 55, so you are going to store this particular data in 55th location. So 55th location will have the data 0AH. Now move A comma at R0. So whatever you have at R0, what is your R0 here? 55. At this particular location, whatever you have, that will be moved on to the accumulator. So after executing your third instruction, the process is like the content of accumulator is going to be the content of R0. Why I am using content of R0 is R0 is 55. So in this 55th location, what data is available, that will be moved on to the accumulator. Now what is your next? So it represents your indirect addressing mode. The next instruction is going to be MOV B comma R0. What is your R0 value here? R0 is 55. So in this 50, it is your direct addressing mode. That is directly you are using the register addressing mode. 54th location, what data is there? That will be moved on to B register. This is how the instruction works. So in the next class, we will see some more data, some more instruction that handles by your data transfer instruction. Thank you, students.